Welcome to another episode of The Racer's Edge. I'm your host, Tanner Schmidt, and with me today, driver of the number 1K Sport Mod this year, Brandon Wise. How are you?
Something different. Oh, pretty good. Finally, the weather's going to hold off and let us get some races in and enjoy the heat for once. Might have to wear hoodies.
Nice day here at the RPM Speedway in Hayes. And, first question, last year you drove the compacts. This year you moved up into Sport Mods. Why the jump to Sport Mods? Why not hobbies or stocks or somewhere?
To start off, we wanted to race, and compacts were the most economical thing for us to do, and we had a good run with it. We had a lot of fun, met a lot of people, got a lot of experience out there, and toward the end of the year we were talking about moving up, and we actually, Mike Hudson and the Hudson family, they built us a second compact we were going to use, and they have a Sport Mod, which is the one I'm actually driving, and we talked, and he offered me the chance to drive for him, and something I couldn't really pass up, and something I've always wanted to do, and it just puts me in a better opportunity to team up with them and work together than the position I'd be in if I was by myself.
Totally. Got to jump on opportunities when you can get them. So you've had several nights. Of course, we had the 2-day Sunflower Classic here. I think you've ran a couple times in Salina. And how is the adjustment moving from something like a four-cylinder now up to the more powerful?
Definitely a learning curve. I mean, for those of you that don't know, Sport Compact, it's a front-wheel drive car, and when you jump to a modified, I mean, it's built for speed and this type of racing, and it was a steep learning curve. I learned a lot quickly. I mean, you learn more by making mistakes and doing things right, and it was definitely an adjustment period. A lot of fun. I mean, even struggling was really enjoyable for us, and I mean, but every night, I mean, I feel like we're getting better right now. We're struggling in the heats, and once we figure that out, it'll help us. We'll start better in features. But yeah, I mean, every time we go out, we're learning a lot and just having a lot of fun with it, and it's a good time.
Definitely. Now, what would you think would be the hardest part about that learning curve moving up? Would it be trying to get a setup now with something you got so much you can do to it, or?
Well, we got kind of lucky because, I mean, that car was actually driven last year by Tanner Portnier, and he was nice enough to kind of help us out with a base setup. And on Test and Tune out here, Corey Struckoff came out. He drove that car a few years ago, and he helped us quite a bit in fine-tuning it on where we needed to be. And I mean, the setup was definitely difficult. I think the hardest thing about it is learning what you feel as you're going through the corner, understanding, when the car picks up on the bars, and understanding how you have to be steady with the throttle and work the brake at the same time, and just really keeping in tune with the chassis itself.
Okay. And now, another thing that I've been wondering myself, last year when you drove the compacts, you were the 7K. Now you're up to the 1K. What number switch? New car, new you? Or?
No, it's actually, I mean, that's a good question. So 7K was something that we just kind of came up with on the Sport Compact, and Mike Hudson, the Hudson family that owned the car, they raced in the past, and Mike's great-grandpa was one, his dad was one, and he ran one when he raced, and they told me that they really liked the number 1, and they were like, would you be against running it? And I was just, I mean, when someone talks to you like that, and I mean, it's a family tradition, it's hard to say no to something like that. And the only thing I asked is, I was like, well, can we meet in the middle and we'll throw the K on it so that people know it's me? And they had absolutely no problem with that, and it worked together really well.
That's awesome. Letting them having you do something that means so much to them, that's pretty cool. Now, where did racing all start for you?
Well, actually, when I was little, I raced motorcycles. We raced a lot in Colorado and Nebraska, and did that until I was about in 8th grade, and quit doing that because just got tired of all the traveling, and it was getting really expensive. And so I went into high school sports, and I graduated high school, and I was just sitting at home one day, and sitting in the garage with my dad working on our daily drivers, and I was like, you know what, let's try going out there and seeing if we can do this. And we got lucky and found ourselves a great car to start out with, and just kind of took off from there.
Definitely. Now, when you don't know how I want to put this here, so I might move on to another question. That's just, where are you going to be running this year so people can kind of keep tabs on you, see what you're up to?
We want to run a lot. We're going to run here in Hayes, Salina. We're going to go head down to Colby, Dodge City as much as we can. We want to run the Thunder Series as well. Might even make a few trips all the way down to Mayetta. We're going to run as much as we can. We are a rookie this year, so this is the only year we can run for a rookie national championship, and we're really looking at it. I mean, it's going to take a lot. It's not an easy task, but we're going to give it our best shot and see if we can pull it off.
Now, you mentioned the Thunder Series, and that's all half miles there, and running from the 3/8. You think you're going to have a little learning curve on that one?
It'll be an adjustment. I mean, we've never been on a track that big, but hopefully that doesn't start until late June, early July. So by that point, we'll have quite a few nights. So yeah, again, it'll be an adjustment. Kind of every night we get into the car, it seems like we have a lot to learn. But I think by the time we get there, we'll be ready for it, and it'll only take us a couple nights, and we'll kind of have an idea what we're doing.
Definitely. Now time to think way back. Now, earliest memory, greatest memory you have racing, it could be back from when you said you raced motorcycles, or you got one of those that you can let the fans know?
Motorcycles, it was fun, but I think if I had to pick just the best memory I had, it was my first win I had in the Sport Compact. We were down in Colby. It was probably in July, mid-season. We hadn't run a ton of races, and we actually pulled it off. We won, and I got out of the car, and I just kind of looked at my brother and my dad, and we were the only ones there, and we all just kind of looked at each other and we're like, did that really just happen? Because we were sitting there and we're like, at the beginning of the season, we're like, we're going to have fun, and I don't think we can do this, and all of a sudden we had that trophy in our hands, and it was just a really gratifying feeling to put all that time, that work in, and just enjoy a moment with your family and realize, what you accomplished.
It's definitely great when you can go out and accomplish what you set to do, and it just comes unexpectedly.
Yeah, yep. It was, and the thing about it too is like, if it felt the same way. I felt that feeling again last year when I got my first win here in Hayes. It's just something about this track. It's really special, and to win here it was just as enjoyable.
Now, for the fans who can't keep tabs on you at the track where you're going, what social medias do you have for them to keep up with what you're doing?
We actually have a racing page. It's called Wise Racing 43N and 1K. My uncle Brian, he also has a sport mod. He's 43N. He's going to race mainly in Hayes, but we'll post about both of us on there. You can find us on Facebook, and that's about all we have for social media. But we try and stay, fairly relevant on there and stay busy and keep people updated as much as we can, and so that's a good place to follow us. And we actually have a promotion where at the fair race here in Hayes we're going to be giving away 2 bundles, one for the 1K and one for the 43N. There's a post on there if you like and share it that'll enter you for that, and we'll do a live drawing during the fair to give those away.
Oh, that's awesome way to get the fans involved in that.
Yeah, we got one of our sponsors involved on that one. It was really kind of them to come up with the stuff to make that one happen.
And I think that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for joining me here.
Thanks for having me. It's fun.
Thank you all for joining us here at the RPM Speedway, and we will see you next time on the Racer's Edge.